What's up, good people? Week 12 review recap. Bears win 31-28 against the Steelers. I think we was robbed of the experience of not seeing Aaron Rodgers play at Soldier Field, but nevertheless, Bears get another win, go to 8-3, still at the top of the NFC North. But down the road in this show, I want to find out if you think it seems like, every 2 or 3 weeks, it's another team ascending to be the top team in the league. Right now, it appears that it's the Los Angeles Rams. A couple of weeks ago, you would have thought it was the Indianapolis Colts. So the cream is rising to the top in the NFL. The defending champions went down. The Bears' next opponent, the Eagles, went down to the Cowboys in dramatic fashion. How can we? NFL action is fantastic. It's what the NBA used to be.
It's fantastic. Hey, it's fantastic being 8-3. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I got your seat on the Chicago Bears. Bear Down Express is right next to me. I know you coming back in March of 2026. So I told him don't nobody sit right here because you'll be back. You haven't been on the band. You haven't been on the ride in the last 2 seasons. But
2 years, man. It's my second season of suspension, and I'm still not sold. Even at 8-3, I'm not sold because we've been here before. We need to get past the double dunk stage, and then maybe I will be convinced that the Bears are the real deal. But right now, keep winning football games, keep improving. I'm on a whole new level with this fandom, and I want to see results.
Hey, well, okay. Well, hey, you can still be on the whole new level of fandom, but you can come on back to the crib. We got a number 18 Caleb Williams jersey waiting on you, the orange one.
Nah, my jersey wearing days are over. My last jersey that I purchased, NFL jersey, was a Rashawn Salam jersey.
Wow.
Number 31.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Rashawn Salam. And
I think you just froze up. Did you just freeze up? I think he just dropped out, folks. I think he just dropped out. Well, anyway, while we waiting on him to reestablish, what we will do is we can tell y'all that the Super Bowl is on Saturday. My Super Bowl is on Saturday. The beloved Michigan Wolverines take on the hated Ohio State Buckeyes. So be tuned in, be tapped in. If you text me that day, I probably won't text you back unless we win. So it looked like LA is back.
All right, I'm back. Here we back.
Yeah.
We ain't editing nothing. We ain't cleaning nothing up. We keeping it real. Michael Thompson, what's up? The big guy, Mike Thompson. He hit me up last week. He said, I cannot believe that you said that the Giants game was the first time that we ever seen the Bears win because of Caleb Williams. I'm sending Big Mike a shout out. What's up, Mike? My homeboy Emmanuel still checking us out tonight. What is up? What's up, E? E still, what's going on? I think he still played tailback in high school. Gary, Indiana, Horseman. I think he came out 1990. Horseman, 89 or 90, one of them. E still, the big guy, Mike Thompson, what's up? They joining us early. I want to send a shout out to my man Will Bates because I know he gonna check us out later on. So the Bears 8-3, 31-28 over the Steelers. Like I say again, we were robbed of an opportunity to see Aaron Rodgers play, and the Bear fans kind of redeemed themselves against him. But nevertheless, Bears win 31-28 in dramatic fashion. This time, not coming from behind so much as hanging on at the end. I mean, they came from behind, but they kind of had to survive this game instead of kicking game-winning field goals or having a winning touchdown drive to win this game. The turnover battle was, I think, about even. The Steelers came into this game one of the top defenses in the league as far as getting takeaways, and so did the Bears. And I think both of them had 2 takeaways apiece, if I'm not mistaken. The Bears had 2 fumbles, one strip sack fumble in the end zone by who was that got their strip sack?
JJ Watt, TJ Watt,
JJ Watt. Yeah,
TJ.
he grabbed Caleb down like a sack of potatoes, and that ended up being a touchdown recovery in the end zone for the Steelers. So, and then I think the Bears had another fumble uh, later on in that game. But your boy, what's the corner you want to keep and get rid of
Nashawn Wright.
Nashawn Wright. Nashawn Wright with another. That was a hell of a spectacular catch that he made on the sideline. He had a pick, and
That's
I think
5
they
on the
recovered a
year.
fumble as well.
That's 5 picks on the year. What Jalen Johnson got 6 in his career?
Probably so. And he got one in his. He got just as many in 1 year. Not even a complete season, right?
Right.
But
And
you know
Jalen
what's gonna
yeah,
happen. You know what's
killed.
gonna happen if they sign him to a big contract.
Then he gonna turn into R.W. McCorders.
Either that or he gonna get injured. You know, that's just how it goes. That's
Mhm.
just how it goes. As we speak, the 49ers are leading the Carolina Panthers 7-0. And I think they're playing in San Fran. Bears play them later on down the road. Hey, anything interesting from this game? I mean, uh I was just a little disappointed that Aaron Rodgers didn't play.
That took
But
some of
once again, the Bears beat the team that was on their schedule.
the Aaron Rodgers not playing and us finding out kind of the morning of the game, and it was a noon kickoff, kind of took some of the sizzle off of the game, I think. I think if we would have got that news earlier, we could have dealt with that blow and then appreciated the game for what it was, and realized like the Bears overcame a lot, especially injury wise. I mean, that whole
No
linebacker,
linebackers.
they just
One of the linebackers, I forget which one. Maybe it was one of the defensive players worked at Target at some winning time.
I believe it.
Most recently, I think that's what I heard. I forget his name. But yeah, man, that's just how thin they are. And when you talking about literally getting guys off the street, that's where we at this point in the season. That's probably just not just the Bears. That's throughout the league. That's just the nature of the game. But nevertheless, guys coming off the practice squad and stepping up, getting named to the active roster. Literally talking about next man up mentality. A true testament to the job that Ben Johnson and the staff is doing, evaluating talent, and getting talent in and keeping enough talent around so that they can get through this season. And at 8-3, at 8-3, it is impressive, no matter how suspended I am.
Yes. Come on, I'm telling you, I got to see here. I'm gonna, spray some pledge on the wood grain handles and stuff. You're gonna be back in it. But no, that game, I know I was at one point, I think I put on my Facebook, I was like, can we turn the injuries off? Because it was just like, God, man, somebody else on the Bears hurt. Somebody else and it was just, but for them to pull that game out. And it went down to the wire again, because it's like, damn, we got to do this every week with y'all. And this time it was the defense that stepped up and made a play. So
Brisker,
Brisker knocked the ball at the end. Yeah.
Montez Sweat had to put together a game.
Yeah.
We've been waiting on that type of game from Montez. I think he had 3 sacks on in this game. Like I said, Wright had a couple. He had an interception, and I think Montez Sweat had a strip sack. I think he even recovered that fumble as well. And Like I said, we've been waiting on him to put together a game. This time the defense came through down the stretch and got it done at the end. Brisker made a play. How fitting it is for Brisker to make a play against his hometown team. I think Brisker is from Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay, so the fam. I'm sure they switched allegiances to the good guys, but I mean, 8-3. What can you say? 8-3, and they sit atop of the National Football Conference North, as our boy Rick Flavor say. Woo! Uh, so they
Yeah,
8-3. You see, the Lions go down to the wire. They probably should have lost that game versus the Giants, just like the Giants should have beat us. Um, they the Vikings look like they got a lot of things they need to figure out. JJ McCarthy, I think he's in concussion protocol now. The Packers, we don't know what they are. The Packers ended up, kind of getting back right yesterday, but who did they beat? The Vikings.
the Vikings. I
Yeah.
mean, they had to beat them impressively after the performance against teams like the Browns at that time. When they lost to the Browns, they couldn't have a close game with the Vikings. So, like you said, it was a get back game for them. Getting ready down towards the stretch. The one thing they couldn't afford was to struggle with the Vikings. But like you said, JJ is the biggest question mark with the Vikings. Me, honestly, I think that Coach O'Connell needs to game plan a little bit different around JJ and commit a little bit more to a possession power run game. But he wants to throw the football, and he's putting the pressure on JJ to get the job done. I don't really particularly agree with that, but that's Coach O'Connell for you. He did the same thing with Sam Darnold last season when it came crunch time, he put Sam Darnold to the test and said, "Look, if you thinking about coming back or if you're gonna make some money, you're gonna have to win these games. We're gonna have to win these games because of you." And he put him in position. He's doing the same thing with JJ, trying to see if it's the quarterback of the future for the Minnesota Vikings. Like I said, I don't really think I think they speeding the process up a little bit too much for me, but it is what it is. Um, Statistically, in this game, Caleb had a pretty good game outside of the strip sack that he allowed. A lot of people say he's still holding on to the ball a tad bit long. Decent game, 19 to 35, 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like I said, Gid did have the fumble in the end zone, so that was a turnover. It just wasn't an interception. But after that, most would say after a play like that, most guys would go in the tank. But Caleb didn't do that. He didn't go in the tank. He stayed on task with the task at hand. He missed some throws. I mean, he's still struggling with the accuracy on some of the medium range to short passes. But I mean, he left some plays on the board. But nevertheless, they got the win. The 3 touchdowns that he threw. I think DJ Moore. That brings me to thinking about this game in particular. And I've watched. I like Mike Tomlin as a coach, but I just think it's time for Tomlin to move on. I think Mike Tomlin needs a break. I think he needs to get out of Pittsburgh. I think he needs to surround himself with younger defensive and offensive coaches and maybe give this thing another shot in another city. Um, because
Like
they broke
a
the
Mike
donut
Holmgren
defense.
type
Go,
situation.
say that again.
You talking about like a Mike Holmgren type situation? Remember he was in Green Bay forever, then he went to Seattle.
Yeah, yeah, that might be the case for Mike Tomlin. I think he may need to see the game a little bit different. And sit back and evaluate a little bit more because I still believe he's a great coach, good coach. Probably would work better with younger football teams. Right now, he's got a pretty veteran laden team. Everybody's pretty much at the same point in their career. Aaron Rodgers, he wants to win right now. He has something to prove. Mike Tomlin, he has something to prove to the city of Pittsburgh. And look throughout the roster. Look at all the older guys on defense. They still have a lot to prove that they but still can play at a high level in this league. But I just think, as far as Coach Mike Tomlin is concerned, he might need to change the scenery, and then he needs to surround himself with a more youthful vision of football. And maybe if he takes a step back, he could probably get better, because he brought that donut defense to Chicago with the big hole in the middle. They never covered the middle of the field, and that's how the Bears ate off the middle of the field. And those were the adjustments he did make, and that's what I'm saying. Ben Johnson really, really outcoached him in spade. Not. I shouldn't say in spade. In some spots, because there was times when the Steelers played well and they had some things going offensively, but that defense, man, it's just like that big hole in the middle. It's just time. And then now they're heated up in the race with Baltimore now, after Baltimore has put together a winning streak. Now they're 3 weeks ago, they were ahead of the division. Now they fight for their life in the division again with the return of Lamar Jackson.
You sound
I
like
say I gave you some of Caleb's stats. So what else you got?
you sound like you painting a picture for Mike Tomlin to end up in Tennessee with a younger team.
Nah, that's too small for Mike.
I was about to say a younger team with, I think, somebody like a Brian Daboll as offensive coordinator, because I think he needs to rehabilitate himself a little bit after the failed Giants experiment. So I know he's younger than Mike, right?
I'm not sure. There's rumors that Mike could end up with the Giants. I think that's about where he belongs. Who his offensive coordinator would be, who knows? But I don't think he necessarily needs Dayball either.
Yeah, well, if it's the Giants, we know it ain't Dayball.
No, hell no.
And it's no scenario where Mike Tomlin is going to hire somebody like Chip Kelly, who just got let go today.
Hey, you never know. You never know, because this is my thing with that. Chip Kelly is a veteran offensive mind.
College.
And I do see a guy like Mike Tomlin trusting because that Tomlin is obviously a defensive guy. I do see him trusting a more veteran offensive guy to the point where you take care of that offense, and I'm gonna get together with probably a little bit more innovative younger guy with this defense, and then we're gonna figure it out on that end. I can see Chip Kelly working with Mike Tomlin because of the experience. How it will work out, I don't know, but I can see that because of his experience. That's sort of the situation he's in with Arthur Smith right now in Pittsburgh, being that Arthur Smith is a former head coach. You know what I'm saying, in the National Football League.
College experience. He's been successful on the college level. All his stops in the NFL have not gone well for Chip Kelly. Philly, they ran him up out of there. Wasn't he the OC, I think? Or I think wasn't he the head coach for the 49ers for a hot second?
I'm not sure. I know he was in Philly.
He was in Philly. Okay, well, he's the Raiders. He got let go before the season. I think he had another stop in the NFL, and it didn't go well. All of Chip's success has come on the collegiate level.
Yeah,
he was the offensive coordinator for the bad guys last year, national champions. His success at Oregon, all that's collegiate. He hasn't done it on the highest level.
Yeah, you're right. Overall, I mean, Bears 8-3. I'm not sold. What's your final assessment? I mean, each week is somebody else. Each week is still somebody else stepping up.
Yeah,
and they're consistently doing that. This week, with Caleb playing particularly well after the early adversity, I still have to put the spotlight on Montez Sweat in the game. This was kind of a game we've been waiting on him to have really since the Bears traded for him. He showed some signs of, when they first picked him up, he showed signs of doing things like this. But really, since then, since he's been with the Bears, I think this was his third season with the Bears now, and now he's starting to he started late in the season, and this is when you want it to happen. Late in the season, he's starting to show his ability to get to the quarterback and do what the Bears are paying him to do.
Yeah, this is his third season with the Bears. Just to put a bow on the Bears, we gonna see you on Black Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. What the Bears really are. Um, I don't think the Bears are a elite team. I think they're a team that you probably don't want to play in the playoffs just because they didn't kind of figured out how to win games now, and they kind of expect to win these close games. So I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs, but I think this is a measuring stick game coming up for Philly, for them against Philly, especially with the way Philly collapsed versus Dallas yesterday. The Bears will have their full attention. They're not gonna catch Philly slipping. Let's put it like that, and we'll see where they really stack up.
I think both of these teams are going to be pretty focused for whatever reason. With Philly's most recent experience in Dallas, and with the Bears just being under Mike Tomlin, we have yet to see this team not be prepared to play mentally, physically.
Maybe week 2
Um,
versus Detroit.
yeah, but that was just the Lions were just a better team at that time. I mean, that's not to say they weren't ready to play. The Lions were just a better team.
Remember
It's
that
just a
that
big
opening
difference.
drive was 3 plays. They went right down the field.
Yeah, well, they're just a better team at that time. I mean, and they're motivated. They had just lost to the Packers, and the Bears still figuring things out. So it's not about at that time about the Bears not being ready. It's just about just figuring things out. If you want to consider that not being ready, you can do so. But when you're talking about your second game, second week of the season against a veteran laden team such as the Lions, that was about what I expected because we were still figuring things out about the Bears. But now the Bears are consistently showing you
They gave up
that
42.
they figure out ways to win, and
Yeah.
it's a different person each week. So, be it defense or offense, whatever side of the ball, special teams, they've shown you each week that someone else can step up and make and find a way to, contribute to winning a football game. That has been consistent. That is this team's identity. That I give credit to Ben Johnson and this coaching staff. Okay. So, but like you say, now we getting ready for Black Friday. Can't look past Black Friday without talking about the Thanksgiving Day games. But before we get that far in,
Yeah.
we normally going to cover the North. So we got the Packers. The Packers defeated the Vikings. I believe that score was like 23-6, I believe it
Yep.
was, if I'm not
23 to
mistaken.
6.
Okay,
You got
23-6. Get right game for the Packers. And um they needed that performance. But what was interesting to me was the way that the Lions and Giants game went. Now, across national media, they like everybody was talking about, the Lions have not, been looking like themselves. But you got to consider the the Giants went into the trick bag.
twice,
They
right?
they went deep into the trick bag against the Lions. It's not like they lined up fundamentally mano a mano and just just beating them. They went into the trick bag. So they did some things that the Lions probably weren't familiar with on tape. And that's how I assess that. Now, what I do think about with the Lions is that defense may not be as good as we think they are outside of Aiden Hutchinson. If Aiden Hutchinson can't get to the quarterback, that defense is totally different. Okay. Offensively, it's going to be interesting into this offseason because I believe we're coming into the last days of David Montgomery being in Detroit. That's what I see.
Yeah,
Not to say this that they're not still good enough to win, but that's just what I see. So for a few players on this roster, this might be their last shot with Detroit because I can see Detroit going younger in a few areas on both sides of the football. You know,
yeah, I'm definitely with you on Demo. I mean, he had 5 carries for 18 yards yesterday. Um, and Jameer is just so explosive. If I know we got to spell Jameer and we can't give him every carry, but we need a little bit more than 5 for 18 yards.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and
He
and
he's got to get at least 10 to a double digit count of 10 to 12 if you're going to have a heavy dose of the run game. I understand Jameer is going to be the number one guy, but like you said, he only 5 carries for that running back being David Montgomery. I think his days are numbered in Detroit.
yeah, I mean, he not produced. I mean, he caught 3 balls out the backfield for 19 yards, but I mean, so he touched the ball a total of 8 times for 37 yards. Jameer was 15 for 219 on the ground, and then Jameer had another 11 catches for 45 yards.
That's a lot of production from one guy. Yeah,
That's
he gonna need some help.
yeah, like Demo got to do a little bit better than that if he gonna
Yeah,
continue. And Demo got paid when he went to Detroit. Either I know he probably on the last year of that deal,
yeah,
so it'll be easy for them to move on from Montgomery.
yeah. Interesting thing I said last week. I said Jameis Winston is good enough to start in this league. I don't think Jameis Winston. I don't think from a professional standpoint, I don't think he's taken seriously enough because of the way he portrays himself. But he ignites a team one way or another, and it might take a week or two for it to happen, but it don't take long. When Jamin is inserted into an offense, he ignites juice. I mean, the question is, can he take care of the football? But he had a really nice stat line in this game, and it leads me to wonder again: had Jameis been checked in against the Bears instead of Russell Wilson, that maybe the Giants would have beat the Bears. And with that being said, I forgot to bring it with me, but I wrote it down somewhere. But think about this: the Bears are 8-3, and I'm going to go off the top of my dome with this one. So I think I jotted down the quarterbacks that the Bears have beat. The two respectable guys are Dak Prescott and um, the Cincinnati game. Flacco. Two respectable quarterbacks in this league. Outside of that, you've beat J.J. McCarthy. You've beaten the kid in New Orleans that's been benched since then,
It's a Rattler.
Spencer Rattler. You beaten Mason Rudolph, another backup.
Mm-hmm.
And I may be missing someone. I know they got 8 victories.
They beat Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels, then he had some key mistakes, key fumbles in that game. He had a key fumble in that game that kind of the Bears won that game because of. But those are the quarterbacks you've beaten. And now he's out. But if he don't fumble that football, that's at least one more loss in the game. But the Bears are getting lucky in some areas, and you do need a little luck to win. And when they get that luck, they are executing and taking advantage of it. So you can only play the team that's on your schedule. You can only play the roster that's presented in front of you, and they're doing the best they can to stay up top of the division. But now it gets real. It gets real. Uh, the Lions, I mean, not the Lions, the Eagles going to Dallas, go up 21-0 and give up 24 unanswered points to lose to the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I've been thinking about Dallas. When the Bears beat Dallas, CD Lamb goes down. And I tell people all the time that if CD don't go down, that game plan is different. Since then, the Cowboys offense has gotten more potent. And even since then, since the trade deadline, the middle of that defense has gotten tougher and stiffer in the middle. So Dallas is getting better on defense now because we knew they had the potential to do these things offensively. But I didn't see them scoring 24 unanswered points against the Eagles after the Eagles went up 21-0. So both of those two teams, Dallas, you probably can't give up on them right now. And then with the Eagles facing the Bears on Friday, they got to be chomping at the bit to get home and put on a good performance. I came across some ticket prices for next week's games. The lowest ticket price. I was just going through next week's game. The lowest ticket price, I believe, against the Tennessee Titans, whoever they playing. And the lowest ticket price for that game is $11. You can get it there. You can go to Tennessee and watch the Titans for $11. I forgot who they playing this week, but and then the Eagles got probably the most expensive tickets in the league this week. The lowest ticket price for that game is $338. You can sit in the nosebleed seats for $338 if you can get to Philly and go watch the Bears and the Eagles this week. So that's for sure the biggest game on the schedule going into week 13.
Yeah, 13.
That's the biggest game going into the schedule, Black Friday. And it's made for TV, big time, made for TV. The Bears ascending to 8-3. The Eagles falling to 8-3, two 8-3 teams with two totally different stories. Last year, the Bears go from worst to first, and now they're going up against the defending Super Bowl champs, locked at 8-3 apiece, all made for TV. Prime got to be good and ready to cash in. The subscriptions got to be going up this week, baby.
Because the NFL is fantastic. And the Titans,
you know it. The storylines, they don't have to make them up. They just do it on the field and in the standings. And week to week, the cream just rise to the top. NFL action is fantastic.
The Titans playing the Jaguars, so that's why you can get $11 tickets. And then just to piggyback off of your point, so we had Colts and Chiefs last week. Only thing with that was we got that at 12 o'clock. Chiefs had to win. Now the Chiefs going into the Thanksgiving game versus Dallas, who Dallas just came back versus Philly. Dallas is 5-5-1. They are very much alive in the playoffs. The Chiefs are 6-5, I think.
Yep.
Very much alive in the playoffs, and they both got to have this game. Like you said, it writes itself.
Yeah, each week, week after week after week. We can give away the MVP award every week. Every 2 weeks, it's going to change. Because right now, before we went on, we could question whether or not the Rams the best team in the league. After the performance they put together last night against the Bucs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Baker Mayfield goes down with his left shoulder injury, and we saw a Teddy Bridgewater sighting. Okay, but the Rams might be, ever since they pretty much put it down and survived the Seattle Seahawks, who many thought was one of the better teams in the league. Now the Rams have shown the ability to show that they're the best team in the league. Now, many people consider the NFC North to be one of the toughest divisions in football. But this is the thing. The 49ers are still in it.
Yeah.
The 49ers, the Seahawks, the Rams, The 49ers been playing with two different quarterbacks. They just now getting Purdy back. They're up 10-3. They're up 10-3 on the Carolina Panthers. And even the Panthers are not out.
Yeah, they in it.
When you look at it mathematically, they're not out. So
I think they
this
6-5.
thing, this thing is the cream is rising to the top in the NFL. It really is interesting every week.
See, let me just get the Panthers are 6-5. They are tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the NFC South lead because, like you said, 3 weeks ago, we had the Buccaneers up there near the cream of the top, the cream of the crop, and now they 6-5, and Baker's hurt, so we don't know what that's gonna look like going forward. I know Mike Evans is out too, but still, if you would have told me by Thanksgiving the Carolina Panthers will be tied for first place in the National Football Conference South, I wouldn't have believed you. I'm taking
Yeah.
that bet all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other games we talked about. Chiefs come from behind to beat the Colts. Uh, Keeping their season alive, keeping their hopes alive. They win against the Colts on a field goal, 23-20. The Seahawks held off the Titans because they were winning big in that game. They held off the Titans 30-24. Um, I mentioned that the Rams beat the Bucks, and another big game of interest here was probably for a different reason, the Browns and Raiders,
Yep.
because of the starting of Shador Sanders, and but in my opinion, kind of unfairly, the bigger story should be Myles Garrett in the season he's having. He's on pace to have a record-breaking season in sacks, but the talk in this game was more so about Shador, kind of still in the spotlight from Myles Garrett. So Shador, on the day was 11 of 20, 209 yards, one touchdown, one interception, and he was the big story. He got a lot of the press. Um, Geno Smith, he didn't throw a pick in this game, but they still lost. They didn't look particularly well. Geno Smith was 30 of 44, 285 yards and one touchdown. But the biggest story here was Shador. And that's why I come to this story. In my opinion, I think Myles Garrett is being overlooked when it comes to this team. I mean, he probably should have opted to go to another team and play for a championship. That's the ability that he has. But my man Jason Whitlock compares this experience of Myles Garrett being with the Browns. He compared it to Walter Payton being on a lot of bad Bears teams before they won the Super Bowl. And I have to agree because him and Max Crosby are two of the most dominant NFL players on defense, hands down. And you look at the two teams they playing for, they can have so much more value in other places. Cincinnati. Uh, uh, you pick a few. They could really go in a few places and make a difference. But Max Crosby hasn't been able the ability. They haven't wanted to trade him, and the Browns didn't want to trade uh Myles Garrett either. But for what reason? He has to have value. But unfortunately, like I said, he's not getting his just credit because everybody's so quarterback driven. Talk about quarterback stories. We will take this 11 for 20, 209 yards, a touchdown and interception, and put that more of a pedestal because of the storyline rather than look at the historical value of what Myles Garrett is bringing to the game.
Well, I think that's. I don't think Myles Garrett is being overlooked. I think that's just a construct of what the quarterback position is, all the way
Media.
down to high school and before that. When you QB1, that's a big deal in your high school. You know, what does that mean? He probably date the head cheerleader. He probably get preferential treatment. Like we've seen this at levels upon levels upon levels. And the way
Yeah.
the Cleveland Browns have mishandled the quarterback position all season, even going back to getting rid of Baker Mayfield and bringing in Deshaun Watson and giving him guaranteed money. Then they started the year with like 4 quarterbacks on the roster this year, and the whole thing you bringing in, the Shadur on top of that. Like defense, Myles Garrett, you're going in the Hall of Fame. You're probably one of the greatest DNs that we have ever seen. But guess what? That still doesn't trump QB1. And that's why when you say that, I'm like, yeah, it's just kind of always been built this way. So I don't feel like he got overlooked. He's just in Cleveland, and they've mishandled and they've botched this situation. Even Kevin Stefanski's his locker room speech, they gave one game ball, and it was to Myles Garrett. And
At least coach gave him the credit.
yeah, but a lot of people are saying like when a rookie QB get his first win, that's like an automatic to get his game ball, and he didn't even do that.
Not against the performance. See, that's what I'm saying. At least coach gave him his credit because it's, in my opinion, I mean, this ain't baseball. This isn't baseball. The Cleveland Browns won that game because of Myles Garrett in the field position that he afforded them, and that's why I agree with that. And I just think it's a shame that we don't watch the game in its totality. And I do believe that Shador had a decent game. But this is my thing with that. How do you feel when Shador got him in the red zone and they went Wildcat for two touchdowns?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, I was gonna bring
Okay.
that up. Yeah. Before I jump in that, 2 things can be true. Miles could have got a game ball. I mean, they gave out 1 game ball.
Okay.
You telling me we've seen plenty of cases where it's 4 or 5 game balls?
Yeah, you can give out at least 2. I feel you on that.
Yeah, and then to your next point, when the Wildcat package, I thought that was specifically so they could take Shadur off of the field, so he didn't have anything. They could minimize what he did for scoring on that possession. You not finna throw a touchdown pass. You not finna run it, scramble and run this in. That's not happening on my watch. So we going with the Wildcat. I thought that was very blatant.
Or maybe coach didn't think that Shador wasn't good in the red zone packages.
Did he do that to Dylan Gabriel? I just want to know. Did he do
Maybe
that?
he thought Dylan Gabriel was better prepared for red zone. See, this is my thing. Shador has been dealt a hand. And when Shador ascends to whatever he's going to ascend to, he's going to appreciate it even more than you'd ever know. Because he's been put in position to work for everything he's gotten. Now, this is my thing. When you look at how the Cleveland Browns have handled the quarterback situation this season, you probably didn't understand them trading Joe Flacco, but now you probably appreciate it more because they put Joe Flacco in a position with a better team, with a better opportunity to win because of him. Then it puts the pressure on them and their front office. Okay, we drafted 2 quarterbacks in the most recent draft. Now we must see what we have because we do need to know, because going into next season, we might have to be doing it again. So being that they drafted Dylan Gabriel ahead of Shador, we may not agree with it because I didn't at the time, but due to the fact they gave up more, they had more draft capital invested in Gillen and Dylan Gabriel. He was the guy that you give the opportunity to first because of draft position.
Yeah, you talking about the business of football. Yeah.
But now that things have transpired and now that Shador is put in position to start, me, myself, I'm putting in Shador simply off his size alone, simply because he's the bigger quarterback. Just that alone. Also, I think he sort of like Jameis Winston. He rallies the troops. He motivates the roster. And I'm putting him in on that alone. Now it's his ball to drop. Don't turn my football over. Don't lose games because of you. As long as he doesn't do those things, he can play quarterback for me. He can develop under me. So I agree with Dylan Gabriel getting the start ahead of him because of draft status alone. But if you look at what happened in yesterday's game, Shador, no matter what you think, if you can say that Kevin Stefanski tried to hold him back, he still found a way to make plays to have an impact on that team and on that fan base. So now they got the 49ers, and now you got to put him back in that same position. We got the game plan around his skill set. It's going to be interesting to see. Shador Sanders is going to be must see TV for the rest of the season. As long as he can stay upright, I think we got about 6 more games left. As long as he can stay upright, he's going to get his opportunity, and the cream will rise to the top. And then the Browns will go into this season understanding either one, we got a young developing quarterback, we got a decision to make on Deshaun Watson, or we're going to draft another one. And that's why I never really got too gung-ho into the Shador, because I know that he was going to get an opportunity. You look at injuries and just the ability to play the position at a high level, and especially when they traded away Joe Flacco, this was inevitable. Shador was going to get his shot. And Shador's going to earn everything that's given to him from this day forward.
The only point I guess I would disagree a little bit with you on is, yes, Dylan Gabriel was drafted ahead of Shador, but every mock draft had Shador, the third quarterback at worst off the board. So you can't tell me apples to apples that Dylan Gabriel is the same level quarterback as Shador. He's just not. The scouts told us he's just not.
Well,
he's not. And then you can
this is my thing.
Wait, hold on. You can look
who
at
played in bigger games in college.
Dylan did by college football playoff standards, but
Yes.
Shador being the son of Deion Sanders, it was prime time every week. So all eyes was watching. They wanted to see them fail. So we can kind of make that comparison really ain't as large as we trying to make it out to be. But if you look at Dylan Gabriel when they play on the field, everything was short. Everything was intermediate. He didn't have the ability to push it down the field. Well, Shador gives you that. And you just said he's a bigger quarterback, which means he could probably see a little bit better. And you just said he rallies the troops. So what? He didn't just start doing that.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm telling you. I would have never drafted Dylan Gabriel anyway.
Yeah.
But putting myself in the shoes of the office, if I'm an executive with the Cleveland Browns, since we went out and we drafted this guy ahead of Shador, you got to put him in position to prove that he's going to be a better option. Now we are where we're at. He's small. Anyone's capable of getting a concussion. But now we are where we're at. Now it's Shador's ball to drop.
That's it. It's the letter of the law, though, what they operated by. Yes, he's a 3rd round pick and Shador is a 5th round pick, but everything is not created equally. Yes, going 56 into 55 is technically breaking the law. Yes, stealing something is breaking the law. Those are two not equal crimes. That's why they're not punished the same. And that's what I'm saying. So Dylan Gabriel got way more opportunity than he was supposed to get using that logic that you just said. He's a 3rd round pick. Yeah, only in how it fell in the draft only. Everything else says Shador was a better prospect than he was. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. I'm just like I said, I would have drafted Shador over Dylan anyway, but I'm just saying the position they was put in, I can understand what the Cleveland Browns were doing. Even though we didn't agree with it that it happened on draft day or that weekend.
The third day,
Once they took the field, I totally understood what they were doing, especially after they traded Joe Flacco. And now I just think that for all the Shador fans, he's going to have an opportunity to prove himself in this league, and he's going to pan out one way or the other. And it's not going to be because of Dion; it's going to be because of Shador. And
yeah.
that's the only way you want to get it. That's the only way you want to get it. I believe in him. I'd take Shador over Caleb right now. I'd take Shador Sanders over Caleb right now.
That's because you don't like Caleb, though.
Well, we've been talking about Shador a little too long. Looking forward to next week because I'm about to wind it down. I think we probably missed a couple games out of week 12. The Bills lost to the Texans kicking off last Thursday. So they lost to the Texans 23-19. So Josh Allen, apparently he's just not enough to get it done. He had a in MVP standards a bad game. The statistics 24-34, 253 yards, and 2 interceptions. That's not an MVP performance, even though the numbers were pretty good. But the 2 picks makes the difference. You can't turn the football over. And what other game did we miss? Right now, as we speak, again, 49ers still up 10-3. Make sure we got all the games for week 12 before we move on to week 13. Oh, Jets, Ravens. Same old Jets. They benched Justin Fields. Still got the same results. Tyrod Taylor, 17 for 28, 222 yards and 1 touchdown. The workhorse is Brees Hall for the Jets. But Baltimore beat them. Now, Baltimore, Lamar don't look like he's 100%. And I think they still have 2 matchups with the Steelers coming up down the stretch. And I don't believe that Lamar is 100%. I really don't. Jaguars survived against the Cardinals 27-24. Falcons beat the Saints 24-10. Broncos, Dolphins, and Chargers and Commanders were all on bye weeks for week 12. So moving towards to week 13, going to Turkey Day, leading us up to the Black Friday game with the Bears and Eagles that we talked about a little bit brief. On Thanksgiving, we got we got to go to week 13. Week 13, Thanksgiving Day, Green Bay at Detroit. Big matchup, NFC North. Big NFC North matchup. That's going to be the early game. 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern. KC at Dallas. That's the 3 o'clock Central, 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern time matchup. And then Thursday night, Cincinnati and Baltimore. All of these matchups are made for television. All of these teams have something to play for. Probably the Green Bay going up against Detroit. Detroit wanted to avenge a loss from opening week of the season. Then KC still fighting for their playoff life, going to Dallas. Dallas having an opportunity to do the same. And then there's even a Joe Burrow may be playing against Baltimore on Thursday night. Yeah. So after you get done with that turkey, you're gonna be able to sit back and watch as long as you don't fall asleep, don't eat too much because you're gonna miss something. It's some big. This might be the best Turkey Day matchups combo with the Black Friday. These probably the best matchups we done seen in years. Because usually one of these three games, because the Black Friday game is traditionally still traditionally a new game, but usually one of these turkey games we can take off.
Yeah, because you
But
the
not
Lions.
so with these matchups. Not
Yeah,
so with these matchups.
because it was a long while the Lions wasn't good. They was just on TV. So
Yeah.
usually that game, and I know the Bears been in that game a couple times
Yeah.
in recent years, but yeah, the Lions just hadn't been good. So usually that game was a clunker. The
Hmm.
Cowboys game, they would get a lot of interest because it's the
Yeah.
Cowboys. And then when they
Yeah.
started putting that game, that third game at the night, it kind of wasn't. It was a West Coast game, I think. I don't think viewer ratings was that great for them. But yeah, this slate, especially just how the standings just shook out, the storylines, like you said, then the Black Friday game, all that leading up into the Super Bowl. Like, hey, I'm locked in. I'm locked
Oh
in.
yeah.
The Super Bowl
Get your
being
sleep
Saturday.
on.
Yeah,
Get plenty of rest on Wednesday.
yeah, yeah.
And don't eat too much on Thursday.
Oh no, I'm going
And
to
if you do those two things, you might survive. You might get to the nightcap. And hopefully you won't miss anything. But then we go to Black Friday, we can sleep in a little bit,
2 o'clock.
after you done stayed up all night long and enjoy some football, NFL football, and then you get up, send the ladies out to do a little shopping. Send them to the computer, let them go online, do their thing. Give them the credit card with the highest limit. Let them spend a little money, and then you'll be able to enjoy the Bears and the Eagles. Okay, and that game's at 2 o'clock Central. I think 3 o'clock Eastern on Prime. So get them subscriptions going. Prime should be sending us a check tonight because we pushing Prime tonight so that we can. But in our local area, we'll get the Bears game. But for
Oh
those out
yeah.
of the market, this gonna be a big game. Bears, Eagles. Get them subscriptions. Do some Black Friday shopping with Amazon and get your Prime subscriptions, filled up and ready to go. And enjoy the Bears on Black Friday going into Philly to play against the Eagles. 2 8-3 teams. Worst to first. We talk about the Bears in the NFC North against the defending NFL champs. I mean, I mean, what else could you be doing better than that? I mean, once you get there, you should already have your big screen TV set up by then after all the Black Friday. We're gonna open that gift up a little early. So there you go. Sunday to finish it up tonight, and we're gonna be off. Hey man, college basketball's heating up.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know what
watching.
I'm
I got
saying?
it on right now. Yeah.
Hey man, Maui Classic. They tipped off Maui tonight, earlier today, and they hooping in Vegas.
The
We talked
players
a little bit
era.
about Vegas. In Vegas, they got Syracuse, and Houston had a big game tonight. The Houston Cougars, Syracuse Orange,
Bam
Carmelo Anthony's son. I
Cayenne.
forget his name, his first
Cayenne.
name. Cayenne Anthony. He got some tick tonight. He look like the real deal. He can play a little bit, but college basketball is heating up. You mentioned, you text me, it was nice to see Jalen Rose and Chris Webber,
Yeah.
on the TNT broadcast, reunited, talking about college basketball. Jamal Mashburn was on that broadcast as well. So it was good to see those guys, contribute and can shed some light on the young ballers of the day. All of those guys probably played in the same timeline because I do believe Michigan did beat Kentucky to either
To
get
go to
to a
the
Final
final.
Four,
Yep.
and then I think they beat them in the Final Four one year, and I think
The
was
second
it
year.
'93?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
93. They second year
yeah.
go. Yeah.
So college basketball heating up. We a little so about NBA. But
Even
certainly
though I was in the
football is.
building on
Oh yeah, that's right. You did go see the Heat.
I was there and it was a
Yeah,
it was a cup game and
yeah.
it was not
Was
close.
the court nice and bright? Did you
It,
need your shades on to watch that game?
I mean, it was more so the experience. We was in the box, but the court was that cup court that they had. Bulls had on their black jerseys, but the game was not close at all. I mean,
Yeah,
Miami,
seen the Heat
they
kind
ran
of blew
away
them
with
out. They scoring a lot of damn points in the NBA, man. I'm talking about
140.
anytime you get past 115 points in the game, for me, if you ain't go to overtime,
That's too
I,
much.
that's too much for me. But they scoring a lot of points. They shoot a lot of free throws. If you look at it, they're shooting a lot of free throws in the NBA. And there's a lot of speculation with all this gambling and stuff going on. Spotlight is big on the NBA. But let's get back to the Fantastic. So the Fantastic is the NFL. And we're gonna finish up, we're gonna be done. But I want to say something about college hoops. For all those that's inspired about college basketball and just basketball in general, the season is underway. Even the high schools are getting kicked off this week in the state of Indiana, Illinois. Uh, Speaking of that, talking about high school, I want to send a shout out to two local Northwest Indiana high schools in high school football, the Andran 59ers and the Maryville Pirates. These two teams probably not even separated by a mile. And they're both going downstate in the state of Indiana to play for state championships. So I want to send a shout out to them and wish them good luck as they go
NIL is
down.
crazy, even in high school.
Say that again.
The NIL is crazy, even in high school.
Oh, it's getting there. It's getting there. What's up? The defensive tackle that played for the Wolverines. Now he's playing for the
Kenneth
Cleveland
Grant.
Browns.
Kenneth Grant.
Grant is a graduate of Maryville High School.
Yeah.
So he's a former Pirate. The Maryville Pirates going down to play for the state championship, and so are the Andran 59ers. So I just want to make sure I shouted them two teams out and wish them good luck. All of Northwest Indiana be cheering for them to bring those titles back home. And like I said, it's not even a mile separate them two teams. They like right up the street from each other. You know what I'm saying? That's like McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah.
They always one close to the other. That's just how it is. But so let me kick this, let you know what's going on the rest of the NFL. And we can get out of here. So as we get through with that Black Friday game, we go back to the Sunday schedule. For $38, you can go see the San Francisco 49ers in Cleveland and Shador Sanders. That's not a bad price to go see Shador. $38. You better go check him out before the price go up. All right. So San Francisco going to play Cleveland. That's a noon game. Jacksonville at Tennessee. $11 to get you into that game. Jacksonville at Tennessee. You can pay $11 and go down to Nashville and get you a good NFL experience in. All right. Houston at Indianapolis. Houston at Indianapolis. New Orleans at Miami. Atlanta at the Jets. The Cardinals, Arizona at Tampa Bay. The Los Angeles Rams at Carolina. Carolina's down now at 6-5. They're losing, like I said, once again, they're still losing 10-3 to the 49ers, but they're 6-5, so they'll still be in playoff contention when this game goes down. When they play,
is Bryce Young playing? He playing tonight?
Yeah, Bryce Young, he played tonight. He had one pick in the red zone. And yeah, he started the game. I think he's still playing, but yeah, he's playing. So like I said, Arizona at Tampa Bay. The Rams going to Carolina. Minnesota at Seattle. Buffalo at Pittsburgh. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will come back for that game. So that's something to look forward to. That's one of the 3:00 games. That's a 3:25 Central, 4:25 Eastern. The Las Vegas Raiders going on to take the Chargers in Los Angeles. The Denver Broncos at Washington on Sunday Night Football. And we might be done with all the bye weeks.
I think
I think up to this point, everyone has had a bye in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. Monday night matchup will be the New York Giants and the New England Patriots. we'll get a chance to see Drake May in prime time. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, there it is, man. Thanks for watching the game with us. It's getting real. It's hard. It was hard to watch all of the college basketball and still stay focused on doing this show tonight. It really, really was. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was hard. I was trying to cheat a little bit. I was 1 hour on college basketball, and then I was trying to recap some of the football experience that we had over the weekend. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Watch the game. Ready for Turkey Day, Black Friday. It's on.
Go Blue.